Yo, oh man, been a minute since I've been here. I don't know if I remember how all this shit works, but yeah, figured I'd just jump on. I'm gonna be working on um, the last time I was on, I think I was starting the store. I don't know, but I'm doing another project developing someone else's store. No, I wasn't on because I started the store on Friday last week. So kind of a test run. So I'm doing a side project where I'm developing a store. Not something I quite envisioned, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. And so I wanted to kind of formalize my own store. It's something I've kind of started seeing the value in. So I'll kind of just jump right in. Yeah, if you have any questions, definitely hit me with whatever. I kind of show where things are at right now. So a lot of it has been like CMS management with Webflow and getting things to tie in properly because they don't really have a subcategory structure. And I need to figure out what my structure is. What do I want to do? How badly do I want to sell out? So, and I think like yeah, there was some conversations I was having where, people just didn't know that I sold things. Like with posters, the wallpaper packs, the different softwares, the prints. Like people would always hit me up and be like, "Do you sell prints?" I'd be like, "Yeah, they're on my website." But it only made sense to me, I guess, in terms of where it was. So now I'm putting it all together, and yeah, I figure it would be a little bit better just so I'm updating the navigation a little bit, just changed the style a little bit, just stretched it out, whatever, changing some font sizes here and there. Did a lot of fucking cleanup of classes and trying to be more strategic about it. And I can dive into all the stuff I'm doing because so much of these, like the store just lives on 3 pages. Like right now I have all these originals is what I was calling them. And those were living under this folder and they're all like hard coded individual pages. But now like JW Sands, Apple TV, screensaver, wallpapers. They all live under like these product templates, and it's all being controlled by conditional visibility, and it's fucking crazy. I guess I'm losing my voice. It's been too long. Oh shit, Salad blowing up the chat. Raises from the dead. Can't stay. Wanted to show some love. Hope all is well. Hey, thanks for popping in, man. Yeah, it's been a minute. You're most awkward streamer still is here. Still kicking. Trying to get this same fucking thing done. Yeah, so it was actually a good call that I didn't stream my process in terms of like how to figure everything out. I'm happy to answer questions about it or talk about it. I think the interest in Webflow has been pretty steady. So there might be some specific questions you may have, or if it's just design related, or if it's not design related at all, just hit me with whatever. But yeah, looking at a lot of things and adding intention to what I was doing on them. It's like this whole scroll system being like living within the broader section titles and having it align with sticky product titles. Things where it was like it was close, but it was just like it was missing like an intent behind it. Like I kind of knew this is what I was going for, but I never really spent the time to like, oh shit, like let me think about all the spacing now. Yeah. So at this point, it's kind of figuring out kind of what's remaining, what I like, what I don't like, and then possibly launching. I think a big thing for me right now is the storefront page, not the info page. Let's see, I don't have the rain going. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize now. I don't know how loud it is, but I am trying a wireless mechanical keyboard, and it's like cherry brown switches, I guess. Um, yeah, it's the how the fuck do you say it? In Qnix? The F96. Yeah, I wanted a wireless mechanical keyboard, full keyboard. with good battery life and backlit. And yeah, the backlit sucks. I just got it today. And it's one of those like where the letters are on the front of the keyboard and the top is just entirely black. And I was like, oh, okay, as long as like the LEDs light up and I can see what it says, but I can't see shit. So I'm like going on feel right now. I love the feel of mechanical keyboard, but yeah, I can't see a fucking thing. It's just, and it's a new layout, so it's not like total muscle memory. Yeah, it's good. I think the one thing, so I guess I could use this time to talk about some of the products now. A lot of the same stuff. Wallpaper packs are still here. Posters I'm starting to elevate. I'm going to start doing some more like just kind of one-off posters. So now I have a place for that, a clear place for that also. Photo prints are kind of where a lot of focus is going to be. So I do want to keep developing that, expanding that, and thinking about subcategories of that. Obviously not have stuff like this. So some of the resources actually is probably where the biggest change or like the most updates or new shit's going to be. Let's see. Products. Fuck. All these naming conventions, like that took a while to settle on something that makes sense. So yeah, presets. I'm finally kind of caving in on the idea of presets. So first one being this sort of starter file. It does all the things that I kind of automate. I talked about it on streams before, but like when I get in Lightroom, I have, it's basically like what I apply to every single edit. It's consistent grain settings. It's correcting all the lens distortions, the chromatic aberration, adds the points on the tonal curve and for all the channels. So it's like all those points are ready to go. It does a couple other little things. It does some stuff for like highlights for more of like a softer feel. All stuff that can be tweaked, but like this is kind of my step into it of like this is super helpful for me. I'll see, this is good. This is the kind of shit I have to clean up. But yeah, I want to figure out like a way like for people who've been subbed or following for a while to get basically discounts on all this stuff. So yeah, I have starter files and then I have so the first one is just going to be like a black and white preset. Let's see. So I use it a lot. I used it for a lot of like dark images. That's something I want to kind of include here, is the fact that it's also for light images as well. So it's kind of like an all-purpose one. It's, I mean, I have like a full write-up on it. Kind of like what the thinking is behind it, how presets work. So yeah, I don't know if this is something of a high value. I'm just kind of curious to test it out because I've had people ask about it. Yeah. I gotta think about it like a list of like what I need to do in order to get this shit done. And I think fixing stuff like that is kind of at the level I'm at right now. I might launch just to do it on stream because why the hell not? And then yeah, go ahead and get doing all the fast follows. There's nothing like creating urgency by just pushing it live and then realizing like I'm stuck like with whatever the fuck is going on right now. And I need to develop a drop-down navigation for the store. I need to update the navigation for the originals. I moved a lot of originals to the store. Isaac, yo, what's going on? Sorry, I missed that. I got all caught up in all sorts of dumb stuff. How's it going, man? Let's see. So I was fucking with all these like sticky titles. Like the amount of shit that went into like getting it all to work properly is more work than I'd care to admit. Why? And so all of these, it's like, not all of them. A lot of them have like custom layouts for each. Some of them are using the same folder, and that's something I'll want to do after the fact, is kind of clean up all of these. But they're all using like, so this is the product content folder, and then it's just a series of layouts that are all triggered within the product details. Like either what category it's in. So like this one right here is for any, like contains the categories of resource presets. So this is how I can target every time I have presets. I can just like put it within the preset subcategory. That's purely by naming convention. That's the only way it's actually a true subcategory. Technically, it's on the same level within the CMS as all the other ones, but visually for my brain, that's how I've sort of done it. So if it contains that, if it contains like that category, that's when it'll pull this layout. And it's like so specific that I've none others that are using the same layout. So it's a lot of that kind of shit. And then even within that, having, so I just gotta find one quick example of the right one. Let's see. This is how it should look. I don't know what the difference is. This looks exactly like the same structure. I think I'm copying, and see, this is where things get weird. Yeah, what did I just do? I just messed with the height. So now all this is calculated on view height, like the overall height of it. I think that's the problem right now, is if I get rid of the specified height, the position it sticks at is prone to shift because the font is in view width. It's been a mind fuck, but I think I got it. Going great. It's been a while. Good to see you're still kicking. Yeah, still here, man. Still here. I've been buried on this. Yeah, and I'm actually been working full time on top of that as well. So, and have a side project, the one I was talking about doing the store, that I wish I could show. It's going to be such a rad one. I'm really, really excited about it, but I just don't think I can share that one, unfortunately. Hopefully my brand will suffice for now. My aha. Yeah, you can hear. I don't know if you can hear it. Fucking detent on this keyboard. But also, the amount of stuff on these pages is kind of crazy. Oh god. And so Webflow just starts locking up sometimes. I don't know if that's like just me and my product pages, like if I'm trying to do too much, but and so also one thing I've been kicking around and like how to do is so if I want this to stick, but I want it to scroll out at a certain point where it doesn't stick all the way to the bottom. So I'm artificially adding height with this bottom padding and then reducing it immediately with this. So it's kind of a hacky way, but you can see like, I don't know why it's choosing there. Maybe it's not even working the way, it's not working the way I thought it would. So this should be scrolling out somewhere around like here. And so this is kind of like a global thing. Clearly I don't have the right solution. And this is one of those things where it's like, I can't see a thing. Like this is what it should look like. And it's much easier to wrap my head around this. But see, I've just messed with the position. So I think this is 11. No. That looks right. Yeah, so you see, like, it's not ideal. Like, it catches and it's always going to be aligned with this no matter what the view height is, because everything's calculated on view height. So this space is going to get tighter. This space will get tighter. Where this sticks is also a view height position. So it's kind of this cascading thing that took my dumb brain a long time to figure out. So, and I thought I had a fix with creating the artificial height and then reducing the margins off of it. You can see it's still sticking on the same spot. So I'll probably work on that in time and try and get that sorted out. But right now, I think having the position where it's supposed to be is a little bit better. This is supposed to be 2 view height. I don't know what happened here. So this will give me the padding off the bottom, which I think is the same as here. Pod next. So this is why, like, I find it really important to just get this shit done. Because if I walk away from this, then I don't have any contact. Like, I'm coming in fresh and it's like, how the fuck did I do this? And then I start undoing things I already did. And like, I'm doing it right now. Like, I'm going in and I'm messing with things already. And I'm trying to figure out what this spacing is to this line. 2.25, that's that spacing. This should be with the title. Oh, no, so this is like, these are separate elements all sticking independently. So it's really the difference of the height of this, which I thought I had specified, 15.5, and then having this stick at the same height, but this is, I think this is 12 originally, which I don't think is right. Not. So I definitely changed something somewhere. And when I say changed, I mean totally fucking broke. And so I think the negative margins was kind of messing around with some other stuff. So I just want to check it was the Lightroom preset page where this was all kind of bringing up and see what is this? Shouldn't be there. Why? This is that 20 view height, I think. See, now I'm scared to go back to the other page. I feel like it's not going to have any padding. Because there's also, this is where consistency is important. Like all of these, like, content types have all sorts of different paddings off the bottom, which I need to not do. It's really a bad habit. Like there should be nothing off the bottom of any of these, and I should consistently be dealing with spacing off either the parent or the content below. Like, so wallpapers is a point of concern right now too. See, that looks fine. Because this also has 11 view height. I'm just going to get rid of all. This is the easiest way to do it, I think. Get rid of all top padding, all bottom padding. Don't see why this should be inconsistent. This is part of the part. This is part of the reason why, like, you end up chasing your own tail sometimes with development, at least with the way I do it. you know, say what you will about it. Let's do 5. I cannot see this keyboard. I can't explain like how unfortunate it is because it's such a beautiful keyboard. But it's just like I think my light's all the way up. That's why I look brighter now, is because I'm just trying to read the fucking keyboard. But actually, if I turn it down darker, I can see the light more. It's in like this really weird middle ground. Whatever. Try that. So I mean, this spacing should be consistent now. Whether it's right or not, that's to be determined. This is the only one that's got something entirely different. What is this spacing? Poster details container copy. Yeah, see, these naming conventions are getting a little crazy. And so this is stuff that was just ported over from the Evanetta page. So in theory, my site's going to be much lighter. There'll be a lot less pages. I think I'll be trimming down maybe about like 20% of the pages technically in the back end and condensing them all down to these crazy complex. The category pages is also another like mind fuck. And yeah, you like fix one thing, figure it out, and then it doesn't apply for all of them. And then you try and do one-off fixes, or you try and do fixes and then come to find out they're one-off fixes that aren't being applied to everything equally. So it's then like that's where this spacing on this section context is inconsistent because I just saw opportunities where it needed to be fixed. I thought it would be something that would work globally. And then I'll go to the other page, see it's wrong, and be like, why is that like that? And just get rid of it and then go back and be like, hey, that's wrong now, and not realize that I've just kind of chasing my own tail. So yeah, development's fun. It could all be so easy, but I think I'm overly ambitious. Like I try and do too much for what I'm technically capable of doing or managing. It's getting more and more, but it's like all this shit is just, it's a lot. Like managing all the conditional visibility, all like the sticky elements. So having the title be something that's flexible for all the products I want, but interesting and like positions vertically in the right amount of space. I have to have all of this. This is all calculated on view height. I went back and forth on view width, view height. Like it's, I don't know. In some senses, it's a puzzle that it's really fun to figure out. But it can be soul crushing sometimes. Okay, so this is not the best example. This whole poster series will have this content, which is kind of the anomaly. So this is where I want to create like places for custom content. Oh, I don't need that. So even stuff like this, like if I have an additional image, I can add context of this is the photo detail. So if I go into my settings, so as long as it contains the category print, so if this product is within the category of prints, this will display. If it's not, it will not. And I could probably do that for posters too. And this is the kind of stuff I want to start like being more strategic with and just kind of, I don't know, being very specific about each product and being able to tell the story about it. So this spacing too tight, but at least it's what I expected. Oh, another thing I'm gonna offer, and this resource is kind of a catch-all. I need to figure out thumbnails for this. This is not as I'd expect it. Spacing. High view height, see prod details. Okay. Oh, I see. That's fine. So it's going to be like a full like project folder structure. So when you start a new project, this is something I found to be super helpful. It has all the naming conventions down. It has what you're likely to see, and I think it's something that's still going to evolve. So this is going to be version 1, which I should probably include in here. You see, this is pulling irrelevant data, which I don't know if I duplicated this. Project template. So this is, so I can get product specific too. So if I want to have something that's applicable to all items within a category, I can do that. Or if I just want to do it like per project or for each product, I can do that too. So it's, yeah, this gets crazy. But I don't, clearly I started writing it. At the moment, Apple doesn't allow third party. So I like duplicated the screensaver, or no, the TV app. So I just have to update this stuff, which I should probably do while I'm here. So if you have any other questions, feel free to hit me. Or if you're bored with this, definitely like, you know, tell me. I can do kind of whatever right now. I know I'm spending like most of tonight working on this. But I wanted to at least pop on. This is like the first time in a while I've had any sort of bandwidth to jump on. Any computer. Zip. I can't see. It has been a while since I added photos. I did learn a couple interesting things too. Like I was always talking about in Lightroom, if you do negative clarity, you start to see ghosting. But I came to find out it's kind of, if you like, if you go just a little bit, you won't see it. But if you go like between -15, -10 to like -20, you'll start to see ghosting. But if you go past that again, it kind of goes away because it's so diffused. Like if you do, I'm trying to think of like, it's like if you're adding a drop shadow to something, but you do like 3-pixel blur on it. And let's say it has a border on it, and then you add a drop shadow of the same color. If you do like 2 or 3 pixel drop shadow, it's gonna just look like fuzzy edges. But if you do like 40 pixels, it looks like a proper shadow. That's probably the closest I can equate to it. So I've been exploring that with some of like the New York stuff. I have to find out how it messes with prints. I have to do some test prints. So the IO prints like all over town, which is a fucking problem. But I will get better about that. And yeah, there's gonna be like a section to request prints. I'm trying to figure all that stuff out still, but yeah, my goal for right now is just to get V1 out the door. So I might just turn this off for now. You can see this is called BioBlock. This is like from an old info page. I don't know what to call this. I mean, I'm basically just pulling this out. It's really like, this is my high level, like people don't want to dive in. You can kind of get the gist of it. That's something I've started doing, is just at every turn assuming like worst case scenario from people's interests. Like one of the biggest mistakes I've made is just assuming people care about shit as much as I do. like, oh yeah, they're gonna want to know more. And it's like, because I had a lot of fun writing this, and like I wax poetic on my website, probably worse than most people. And like like my brother's a great reality check. He's just like, well, look at it, he's like, who's gonna read that? I'm like, I don't know. People came to this page like they're interested in this shit, aren't they? And he's like, no one fucking cares. Like they have no time, their attention span. Like he's not the one to illuminate it, but I think it's like I've always known that, but it's just like, oh, but this is the time where they'll care. And it's like they don't care. They really don't. In some senses, play the devil as advocate to that same exact point seconds later. There's things about like my info page. That's like one that he would just, he's like, you need to be more concise. People need to understand you very quickly. And I was like, yes, I agree. And so that's kind of where this section came from. But there's like all this other stuff. And I think I trimmed a lot of sections even. Yeah, I think they might still be here. No, I think I deleted them. It was all about like who I want to work with, how I want to work with people. I want to see people as collaborators and not clients. And it's, to me, it's an important distinction, but oh, fucking skateboarders are back. Yeah, it's an important distinction for me in terms of like how I want to work with people, but the amount of people who actually read it are, it's very low. I'm gonna fucking, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, but like, so the right people read it in some senses. Like they were like, hey, because I'm tired of getting like the bullshit sort of generic boilerplate emails from recruiters. Like if I wanted to go to a job board, I'd go. Like, don't just send me like what's on the job. Like it's like I don't I don't have like I have zero ego about who I am, and like I don't think I'm anything great, but I'm pretty sure 13 years in, I'm not a junior designer. Like, do you know who you're talking to? Like, or people who just want someone to execute on certain things. Like, my goal is to weed those people out. And I still get a lot of that kind of shit, but it's just going to be what it is. But it's really like at every turn, like understanding who you want to speak to. I don't know. I think it's just massively important. And that's what, like, look at that through how you write about yourself or what you write about yourself, the kind of work you put out. I mean, that's a big one. Took me a long time to figure that shit out. So I changed these. Sorry, I'm just catching. Actually published on. This looks like nice metadata. Yeah, there is a system to it, but originally it was the order number. But I realized I also need to have multiple levels of order numbers. So if I want to order things at a category level and then within a subcategory level, I need to have like a multi-tiered system that doesn't just use simple numerics, which sucks. This looks great. Well, thank you, man. You're too kind, Isaac. It looks all right. It's getting there. Yeah, this actually doesn't, I gotta think about this. Oh, I do have a page for it though. So if I create a link block, page, at least this will work. Product request. I think I have to do that on the storefront. I have a much stupider one. I should probably just copy what's on the storefront and just change the copy slightly. You'll see what I mean in a second. It's really dumb. It's like I can't not do something that's just really stupid. Like putting Steve Brule in the background. Like, how am I not supposed to do this? Like, this is kind of my thing. And so this is actually, the padding is all wrong. Let's do, if you do Option Shift and drag, you will unify all of these together. But let's do 2 view height. So this is just, you can control the target area of a button by doing padding and then positioning by margin. That's how I think of it. I'm gonna also put some music on, but I don't, again, like I can't, not only can I not see the keyboard, but they don't have the traditional like Apple keyboard controls. It's all like F8 is play, F9 is next. Nope, I just muted. There we go. Sure, it's not coming through on the stream. All right. No DMCA for me. Yeah, so this will go. Oh, I didn't create a link. This will go product request. So this is an annoying thing about Webflow and links. You have to manually override it every time. Like even if like you set the color at a higher, like at this store, like the container for the store request, if I set the color there, which I have, it doesn't override like link colors, which I just don't understand it. I could always create a combo class and just override it that way, or for the store action, I can just add it there. I'll go ahead and copy this. I'll put this on the print page. That was category. So I'm going to think this one through a little bit. Oh no, damn. I just copied it instead of pasted it because I can't see. Love to see it. I should copy this full store section. All right, copying. This is the other thing that's kind of annoying about Webflow sometimes. Like, if you want to copy and paste something and you just accidentally copy something else, before you paste it, you have to go all the way back. It's fun. So now I'm going to paste it this time. And the copy paste functionality on Webflow is fucking amazing. It saved me so much. What was the verbiage? Now let's copy this. I could do this for like everything. If like don't see a wallpaper, request it. This cat containers prints. Something's causing all this spacing problems. CCAT cross. Oh, so I'm trying to do like cross selling. So I'm trying to get like very traditional e-commy type shit going on. See subcat title. That's what's causing the problem. No, not. So that's where I think I got it working properly is I got this scrolling out midway through instead of it like catching at the bottom. So the title actually is the full canvas. So in time, I want to like get this whole thing filled out with just like random little shit. Like my site right now is kind of like a blank canvas for like when I'm ready to get weird with it. Like the base feels good and I can kind of push it. Like I'm starting to do it. Like all these little like hover states and shit, and I don't know. I want to get weird. I'm tired of like the same boring shit. Yeah, this spacing though, I don't know if I understand it. Put on the print subcats. Let's see, should the I guess it's really only at the parent level. Because I think these will have like an additional grid underneath. Oh, excuse me. Because I can only have so many print products at one time because of the CMS, unless I want to pay like $80 a month to have more. I'd love to do, but I'm not making enough off this just yet. I think I'm gonna leave this for now. This is the one that's like, this is the cross-sell shit. I want to make sure I get this right. Product TV app. Nope. I think that's right. Because a big part is like creating awareness across all these things. And I did a full like, I wonder if I could pull it up real fast. I think my Stream Deck's actually working today. We can do desktop streaming real fast. But it's like looking at what my product architecture was going to be. Like things I had to sort out, like display subcats, so stuff like wall series Stream Deck. Like I didn't have an idea of how that was all going to work. One thing I was considering was like having like this photo top level, and then within that having prints, which are then organized by like subcategories. So the idea was like, here's my photos and here's everywhere they live. But it was interesting. Like I got very quick feedback. Like that's not how people approach it. Which, you know, I think it's fine. I think it is the right move. I think so. This is why I have those cross-selling moments, is just to create the awareness. So I didn't structure it in a way from a top level that shows the fact that my photos live in all these areas. It's just like, you know, here's all the here's all the places it lives in the top nav. Like find them organically if you want through all the different categorizations of products. So yeah. And so I have to do all of these as well. But I'm really liking, so one thing I'm also developing is like a visual language for animation assets. I'm kind of happy how it turned out. So it's really all about like export settings for animated GIFs. And it started with like trying to chase down efficiency, like being able to have, because I have a 4 megabyte cap on GIFs, not GIFs, Tyler, GIFs. Your GIFs. I think I just said GIFs. Fucking, I'm losing it. But like it just leans into like this destructive nature, and the fact that these heroes, like I don't want them to be like duplicative of what's going on underneath. Like I want it to be something that introduces it, you get the idea, but you don't have the full story. Like it's all about just like creating like interest. And so for the Evanetta project, I had great video assets to work with. So that's why this one works really well. But my goal is to get there for all of them. And I'm also developing. So across the board, I'm trying to get to a spot where I'm leveraging the CMS properly. And so originals is all going to shift to a CMS page as well, taking a lot of the learnings from this other page. Not originals, collaborations. Well, originals probably will get there too. Although I probably broke it doing something. God, I gotta get rid of all these stupid projects I don't like. But the idea that like this is now manageable by one, I do here. Minus 10%. I don't even know. I think I have to start from scratch. Like I've learned so much from doing the store. Like, I don't know. I could probably do things a lot better. Yeah, this is very questionable. But yeah, just like templatizing things. But then, I mean, it's always something like as a designer or like doing the site design and creating it is always one thing. But then actually implementing it and having it fit all the needs is something else entirely. So this is one that I think is going to work really well. So I'm going to have videos like this in the top, but it's going to all be treated in that same sort of destructed way or destructive styling, whatever you want to call it. Which for me is super convenient because it's not like a After Effects plugin. It's just purely like export settings. So yeah, this is another update. So I'm still going to keep the grid view for now. This is like an overview. I have to figure it out. And this, I know, like if you're on the site, this stuff doesn't work. I don't know how I broke it. I've tried to unpack that one a lot. If it is, so the thing is, like the way it's coded, I can't have a combo class or any sort of class called collabs. Something in how it's calculating the position is off of a div named collabs. And so I started like creating and adding new stuff and wanted it specific to the collabs page, but that would fuck with the JavaScript. And so this would stop working. And that's kind of where it's at right now. On this page, it doesn't really work. So yeah, I know it's a problem. I don't know how to fix it. I've stared at it for hours trying to get it to work. It's not. I should go back and fix the original problem. But yeah, like thinking of myself as like the client, like this is something I need to manage. How do I do that? Well, I make something that's templated but has enough room for flexibility based on certain product needs. And so this is the problem right here. Because this includes an image in it. And there's a good reason for it in terms of like calculating height, because this is a fixed height asset. There's different types. There's sliders in here. There's like, these are all broken out, like images on top of the background. But this is an interesting problem. So right now the 5 view height is working for everything, but it's being applied up here right now, which is not really where I want it. I think I want this. So this is like really not happy I'm doing this. Fuck, where's minus? That is. That'll give me 2 view height specific to this. This is where we're getting into overrides, and this is where like this right here where it says like how many of this class there are, it's really important to look at. Because if it's one, it's like it's okay. It's still not ideal, but you know, we'll be all right. And so this, I add the 5 view height here. Still, it's not sticking in the right place. Son of a bitch. 8 view height 13. I mean, this should be. But the whole point was that this is going to stick. Right. So this is sticking at 15.5. It might be 13. Oh. I'm just guessing now. I had this like down pat last night, but clearly have lost it. I don't even think it's technically not even lined up anymore. I really broke that. I'm so sad. At least these are lined up and this is lined up. For now, like if I, so this is where like you'd sometimes change it and then you mess with the view height wrong. Yeah, see, it's way off now. It's the same if I start like pulling it down. It's going to be too low. Fuck, what did I do? 8 view height. It should all be in view height. That's where I don't fully understand what the problem is. I think this is not specified in height. This just bums me out. I'm not gonna lie. Because this works now, but is it going to be too thin? Yeah, it is. This font, what's it in? The font's in view width. This is fundamentally where my problem is. I don't know how I had it figured out last night. I don't want to make that view height dependent. So this is where I think how I did it is I got these to match. I like match the attributes to them, which should do it, but. Let's say this is 4. And to the bottom. This is what it really should be. And so then this will come up. You see the sticking position on this is now incorrect. I want this like right in the middle. Problem is yeah, I should center align it. This is how I'm gonna get most consistent results. So 14.5. And this is 4 view height. 4 view height aligned to the middle. Get rid of this. So this, I think what I messed up is so I added the 2 view height adding underneath, but that really wasn't necessary. 15.5. Yeah. So this is where I can add that here. There we go. Now it should be aligned no matter what height. And like with everything, you just start realizing there's a point at which things just break. Like you can't cover off on everything. I mean, you can try, but you're going to start compromising like for 90% of the view heights. Well, I feel better about this. I want this thing to breathe though. That's not 0. That's 0. That was also interesting. Like, I find myself being very efficient with space as I develop. Like, for me to go back in on like some of the like the storefront and have like that additional spacing, like that took a long time for my brain to kind of wrap its head around. It's like, no, you need to just like lay out all the products. These would have been hardwired by ecom, maybe ruined is a better word. Does not feel centered, does it? That looks better. In view height. Okay. This is the kind of shit too, you just got to start checking responsively. Because you see it's already off. Okay. I just have to move this down to 18 as well. I think 18 makes more sense. This is a really tough one because like you don't know when people are in like vertical or if they're in landscape. See, this is not. How did this get? Something's fucked up here. 55. How did it get there? This should be 55, but also minus 55. Probably doesn't make sense. I probably don't advise what I'm doing here, but it's how this gets done. So it has flexibility for this tile card to scroll freely, but it also tries to cram it in the one viewport as much as possible. And this stuff again is like it's still a problem. I need to just design them. That's the thing. It's like all these icons. I don't know why these are. Let's do 100%. Fuck. Can't see a fucking thing. Struggle's real in that. So it also has like rainbow, which will be lost if I hold it up and show it, but I wonder if it's brighter. I don't want a rainbow fucking keyboard light. Well, it's like FN and then that's no better. Yeah, this will be lost if I hold it up. Yeah, black and white. I was thinking maybe there's like a sort of luminance difference, but got them kind of dense. Good, now it's red. Just give me white. Go. Oh, yeah. Okay. At least it sticks in the right spot. This sticking position, I mean, it matches that, so it's fine. This is the one where it's like, if it's tablet, it really depends on, like, things get so much different on portrait versus landscape because of all of, like, the view height calculations, view width calculations. So you kind of just, like, hope no one goes on an iPad anyways. I'm trying to understand why this. Oh, this needs to go up 5. Yep. Okay. Well, this is new. Huh. I don't remember better. Also, getting these to line up has been a colossal mindfuck. No, this is on height again, isn't it? Please. What is this being calculated? Yeah, so the size is right, so it'll fit the right. It must be calculated on height. So it's stretching to. I thought this was percentage though. Let's see if this works. The width is good. Height? Yeah. There we go. Bam. See, the sticky position's all jacked up now. I don't need to line it up with anything now, which is nice. At one point I was trying to get it to line up with the breadcrumbs, which have their own set of problems I haven't mentioned yet. I don't know if this is gonna hold though. Forgot I got a max width. Yeah, it'll work. I mean, this is like as deep as this breadcrumb's gonna get. I think I can buy myself a couple pixels. I think iPad users have given up on seriously using the web on this device. Nothing works at that breakpoint. I hope so, man. It's like they've got to be used to just like shitty experiences because everywhere I've been, the approach to mobile has always been different, and none of them I thought were all that great. It's like some places looked at tablet layouts as a large mobile layout. So they would literally they would design desktop, they would design mobile, and then they would just scale up mobile. And it just like the spacing never always looked right. The functionality was kind of lackluster for the size. Like, I mean, you have all these best practices baked in, but it's kind of like, it's kind of just like a total compromise. Oh, there are two last. What's going on here? They're all last. Why? Yeah, these should not be last. I think I started duplicating and didn't realize there was a combo class on all these. I don't know what the. I mean, I could find out right here. The last, yeah, so I do this on a lot of things. I put 0, so I add a combo class of last. And so if I have like, ideally I'd use like a grid element, but there's so many fucking problems in Webflow with the grid element. So if you have CMS powered images and grid elements, it's going to be blurry. I've talked about that probably more than it deserves being talked about. So that would manage to keep the padding to within the cells, but because I can't use that, I've got to, I have this kind of hack where the last element I just put here. I mean, I don't think it's going to work. No. So if you do lists, so it's something they just recently, it seems recent, but in the collection lists for or I guess any content, you can now target like even and odd elements. Like this is something you can still do in CSS with like n. You can calculate like the nth child in a list. Add this. Which I do want to push further once I add more products, because it's kind of predictable, like just offset layout. But if you can do some math, you can create like organic layouts. So if you're applying, like for me, I'm applying, let's just go there. I just want to check this real fast and I'll get the hell out of here. I think this should be fine. Added the padding in here. These cells are pretty tiny though. Where'd the header go? Oh, the header's sticking. Why 80 pixels? So it's better than 140. Huh. All right, yeah, I'll go to the no collection page categories. See. So this layout, like basically each of these, I'll just show it real fast. Better I show things, like if you're depending on me to explain things concisely, like good luck. But you can see you can add like, so even items within a list, you can add like 20 view height. So that's how I'm creating this offset. So I'm basically doubling, so I can bisect this tile more or less. It's close. It'll never be exact, but like it doesn't matter. And this is where like also from developing, you learn that like being precise and getting things to the pixel on your comps, it's good to establish proportion and like it looks buttoned up, but when it goes into production, the probability you're ever going to get that exact layout is next to none. Everything's percentages now. So yeah, don't sweat. That's what I would say if it's like a couple pixels off. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, that's where I've gotten. Kashar, yo. What is up? Definitely been a minute. Yeah, the thing you need to do is add in like routing back to prints. So basically like the whole thing with ecom is just to keep like the flow going, like remove dead ends for people. And that's by doing cross-selling like this, which, oh, why this is so padded. It's happening on every page. So much I don't understand. There's no padding off the bottom. Oh, I know what it is. So this will be solved by what I was talking about. So if I go in here, the last item, so if I just zero that out, yep, pulls it up. And DFSA is not, that's late night. I just want to duplicate this. My brain's not focused on class names right now. But yeah, so now I have like, oh, didn't mean to push that. I'll have all the, like get people into different categories, get them aware, because there'll be times where I'll drive people or want to drive people to this page for whatever reason. Let's say I have like a targeted ad that's like talking to people who live by the ocean, and I want them to see the sea, and they come directly on this page, and then it's like, oh shit, there's also TV apps and wallpapers and like all this stuff. So it's, I don't know. You have that, so you get like the broader education, but then they're like, oh shit, there's also like landscape and there's also all this other stuff. And that's where I want to build this out over time. Like, I just want to get this live right now, because I think this is the biggest thing, is like having store as its own standalone thing. A big problem. And I don't like, this is the thing, like I'm just about to assume everyone's just as interested in this shit as I am. Ooh, this is Interesting that this is not on top. Let's do 1,000. Not zeros, you fuck. I can't see. 10,000? I'll raise you. Ah, son of a bitch. I'm pouring gas on the flames. But yeah, I removed a lot of the products from here. So now these are going to be originals, like the photo stream, live stream, no ISO. This will probably get removed from here as well. Composites, I need to do cinematic. I have auditory. This is all shit. Like I need to get past this website at some point. Dropping off. See you later. All right, Isaac. See you later, man. Thanks for coming through. I need to find out why. How is this happening? I want to check this. This is static. This is 500. That's should be plenty high. This is 0. I don't know. So there's sometimes some bugs with the preview. Oh, it just doesn't work. God. This whole drop down thing has been way more of a problem than it's been like a good thing. So it does work. It goes over the top. The other thing I noticed too is like when I click close, I don't think I can reopen these. Yeah. You see this nice little gem here too? So they're supposed to be sticking right there. And it's the inspector says position fixed, but it is not fixed. I guess I can't turn it. Yeah, store is gonna get its own drop down too. Drop downs have been a mess. I'm not happy about how complicated I've made that. Yeah, I'm trying to think like how I get this done right now. Like what my blockers are from launching right now. I don't think there's many. There's definitely content things. There's one bug that really just I don't know what to do about it. It's this letter spacing. It says it's being overwritten by something more specific, but there's literally nothing. It's being overwritten by the same thing. I think I was complaining about this last time, but I don't have a definitive way of doing this or fixing this. Like to me, this looks way too tracked out. Like I think this is looking better than this. And I don't want to create a combo class just to fix this, which maybe I need to. See, now it's unlocked. Now I can do minus 0.01 m. Which like this is such a stupid reason to have to create a combo class, but then I can always change the name of the combo class later. I just think it helps a lot. And so that'll be applied to all the category pages, which is good. So I don't have to do this a million times. It's just here, the product page, and then the home page, the storefront. We've been making a dark theme for your website. I have no plans to. Yeah, I'd love to. I think it'd be fun. because I have a great affinity for dark backgrounds, but yeah, that would be a little too much for old John. Oh, this is also a problem. This is a problem. Photo book shouldn't be featured. Products, categories. It's actually editorial is what I'm calling it. And if I turn this off, yeah, something got really messed up on this slider. Just check something real fast, sorry. Oh man. Yeah, so something happened here. Why this is not operating like all of these other sliders. Maybe this is the problem right here. No. Scroll list is the same. On that. Oh. If I extend this up, oh, go back here. There's no scroll for some reason. Why? Hmm. I still can't scroll it. What the fuck? Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Oh, this is being really dumb. And why would there be a vertical scroll? That's something I don't understand. So strange. This is what, 36? I'm gonna have to return this keyboard. There we go. Weird. That's how it's supposed to be. I don't know why the grabber Should be able to grab this. I think it's just in Webflow right now. It's not letting me do it. Print software, posters, resources, wallpapers. I mean, that's really all I want to launch with right now. Categories lines up here. This ideally, this should be. Like, see, I really don't understand it. It is no different. Like I should just do. Hmm. I'm going to leave it for now. This was at a point where it was lined up. I mean, that 105 scares the hell out of me. That's better. 104 makes sense. Yeah, I'll figure this one out later. What I need to do. I'm going to change the way this functions. So I just destroyed a hover state. Don't need it. I'd rather this whole thing be a link. Convert this div block. This whole thing be a link block. Go to current category. There we go. Now these should all link. I gotta figure out something to do for the resources. I mean, maybe resources are just like a dog. Floating in the pool with sunglasses. That's how it feels. Yeah, eventually I want to add a lot more in here. But I think for now, it being primarily routing, I'm good with it. Let me just test this. It all works. This is all going off the min width is the problem. This way, at least I get more visibility into it. I should be able to get pretty small with this. I could probably make this image a little less tall. Height. So I've started doing this too, is like setting height and view width. That helps kind of keep the relationship of like aspect ratios. I think is probably obvious to most people, but it wasn't to old John here. This is getting a little big. Ah, this has gone away. Off this. Funny stuff going on right now. There we go. And again, so this is like an entirely unrealistic thing, but sometimes you can get caught making design decisions based off of an aspect ratio that like is never going to exist in nature. Like they have all these down here, but I can't for the life of me understand why they don't match height. Yeah, see that sticking there looks awful. But last night I had this all like I had a full system, which I had an edible last night, so I was just kind of going rogue. I had like this arrow included in here, so it was like this whole sort of equivalency that was going on. It was like store, instead of it being down, it's now like this is the section. Um, 50. Oh man. I can't see. 5. How did I not know that? I don't use percent a lot. Fuck. I can't see it now. Oh. Why would it? So it would like stick there, and it had like all this extra padding. Had like 20 view height. So it had this sort of moment to breathe where it would just be like showing up here, which I've clearly walked back a little bit. And this should all be achievable because this is set in view height, I think. Yes, this is 20 view height. This is like if you want to get into like a lot of this sort of like sticky position alignment, like you really have to start thinking in terms of view height. For even if your font weights are technically in view width. So that's where I'm still going to run into this problem unless I specify the height into like I should just call this 30 view height. Then I know this is always going to be 10 off, but this is probably, this is going to be higher with the padding alone. So this is where you can kind of get some problems too. 5 view height. I'm probably fucking up so many things right now. Whatever, you only live once. So this will take you to posters. But now this should work the same for all these. I think there's something nice about this still. Like the arrow, I don't know if I should make it smaller or if I modify it, I don't know. 5. And then maybe making this couple. Only problem I have now is like I'd want this space to be even. So there's 11 view height being added here, so I have to artificially. Now this should be centered within this space. It's kind of just like a breather, I guess, in some ways. It could be nice. But I also messed up the spacing or the sticky position. So 11 actually makes sense because that's the height of my navigation. So now it's like kind of scrolling into it. I think is kind of nice. Right, I never fixed these. See tile, so I have to add. I make those 2? I did make them 2. Yeah, I think the spacing feels good. Like it gives a moment to introduce the resources, it resolves as a context of that, and then it gets covered up to hopefully never be seen again till the next section, which is not happening because there's margin here. Be here. Yep. This is where I added in. I probably just, I don't think this is advised either. This is 5 EH. Yeah, spacer 5 EH. I had 2 in, then I got my 10. And that hides the title. I'll probably want to do that for here. See store request. I'll just add a background to it. Then you don't see it till there, which again is happening because of this. I'm a little confused on where this is coming from though. Did I bake margin into this? Didn't. There we go. I don't know if that's gonna fuck things up though. I feel like I shouldn't have done that. Because I like the fact that like things scroll behind this line here, typically. This is kind of the one exception. Like that kind of just bugs me. But all things considered, it's not that bad. What I do want to do is add in that same meta that I have on the category pages and have that show up here as well. Like make something of these introductions to each of these. And like this is where I'm happy I kind of came back to the fact that it's going to be a bit more spacey and like not all just super efficient like. I think this is close to launch. Only thing that's still, so I added this in also. So for products, folder. Oh, it's project. That's what it's called. So I created this status. So I can just go in development. And what that does, so it triggers this overlay, which does 2 things. It visually just, it covers it up and it lets people know that it's not quite ready. It's very close. I want to get this site launched. But it also like masks any pointer events. Oh, I don't want that. So you can't click on it. So it blocks people from going to the detail page. So I can still list it. Same with like the JW.S serif, and all the Capture One packs that I'm actually Sketch should also go into development. It says it is in development. The Sketch starter pack. This should just be saved as a draft. I don't even want that showing up. This is the power of like CMS collections and Webflow. Like if you do the legwork and you have it all sort of figured out, it's just It's like measure 5,000 times and cut once. That it doesn't really apply. Ignore me. Yeah. Just what can I do? I think it's coming together, and this is something I'm going to keep evolving over time. One thing to check is how these store subsections cascade into categories. I might just launch real quick here. This could be a short stream. I got some other stuff I got to get through too. It seems pretty quiet. I'm kind of on late, and I haven't been here. This is what I was talking about, is like how each of these factor in. And this is not lining up. Why? "15 view height, width." "2 view height." What is that? Oh, that's for 'What would be great too? I'm thinking about like next steps is, so instead of having this being sticky throughout the whole page, have it for the hero, and then each of these wipes it. So it'll be a sticky element with each of these, but it'll be set to like a negative margin, so its position is technically behind this, and it'll kind of like scroll to reveal the next section. But right now it's just the top. Which, this is a line I'm talking about. It's just so slightly off. View height 15. So that's 17. For math, it's like, ah, shit. That's 17 plus 11. Hey, what is this? Height 30. What I should do, mirror this. I don't want to fuck up what I've already done on the product pages. 30 view height, center align it. That didn't work. I think I'm mixing up my ideas here. Yeah, I can't get past this arrow and how strange it is. Like, I almost want to keep it like down here. Maybe I do that. It's an easy cop out of not having to worry about the alignments being perfect. Because then it clears it all out, and it's kind of like this. I was just thinking about having like an X arrow go down. That's something I can do real fast. I'll probably regret doing this, but This almost feels like too on the nose. Um, and if I get it to align with that, I'd be happy. This is why websites never get finished. Kind of works. I don't like the vertical alignment. You couldn't read the clipboard data. Fuck out of it. This feels so on the nose, but I really. I can fix it later or break it again or whatever the hell I end up doing. I just rather would do something quasi interesting and fail than even need the arrow. The fact that it's aligned. Is that enough? The fact that this is a different size. Just so on the nose. I don't know. This also had an underline at one point. I don't know if that's too much. I think just the simplicity of no arrow. Like, I don't know. Why so spacey? I regret that as well. And this feels way too big right now. What if this got bigger? 89 view height. Oh, that's why. The scale, all right. Check mobile. Sure. Why you check mobile? This gets so fucked. Did all this go wrong? Right here. The letter space and kerning just terrible. Oh man. So much pain. I just had this all but had to see so many new things in the store. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think getting the prints all organized. I'm probably gonna add like I'm at as many prints as I can. I think probably like should have 50, probably like 10 per category is definitely doable. I have to look at my CMS limitations. I don't know if I just broke. That still works. This is fascinating. Huh. It's usually solved just with some relative positioning. Give it like 5. Yep, there you go. Fixed. This is fascinating though. How did this cross items get so big? Oh, this is not being done in a smart way either. I have to rebuild this. Yeah. This is just like kind of a proof of concept. So a lot of times with this store, I just build things to see if I could get the CMS tied in properly or get the conditional visibility correct. And for that I did. It was just like, all right, I have it in all the right places. Ooh, ooh, that is not what I like to see. I have a feeling it's from this. It is. Did you go so wrong? Or view it. What's this? What? Oh, that's why. Horizontal. Space them out. This would be great for a grid, but the images would get blurry. Joke's on me. And now it should be. Oh, why wouldn't you? Isn't the scroll position breaking for mobile view because you're using view width and view height for positions instead of rem and m or even percentage? Um, Possibly. I don't know why, but I've always wrapped my head around things in terms of either picking view height or view width. Um, right or wrong, it's kind of the lane I've gone in. Um, it's I do wonder about percentages. I started messing around with percentage. So some of these images here were actually calculated in percentage at one point because I thought it scaled nicely, but I found cases where it didn't scale as nicely as I wanted. Um, this looks wrong. Yeah. But the problem is I'm using um so one, there's different things that are changing at different viewports, and I'm based on old designs. So those don't always get overwritten. So if I had overwritten the previous design for tablet, sometimes I just have to go through and clear out some of those overrides I did from previous designs. If it's for something like prints, see if we can find out why it's going wrong. I mean, it's not, this is like kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like it's more like an optics thing because if you look at like the aspect ratio, if the spacing is calculated on view height, it's I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. I do wonder, like I feel like I should do my homework on rem units and for rem m and percentage. I do use M for all my type, and I think it scales very nicely. I've never thought about it in terms of um, like how it scales for spacing. Because that's, yeah. I still feel like I would get, I don't know if it would be as responsive. Um, yeah, that'd be interesting. So that's where I start doing view height and then having max heights. So if I don't have anything tied to sticky scroll, like even if it's for stuff like this, if I want to max this spacing out, I can do that in conjunction with the view height or height. But yeah, I do wonder if some of the other ones are a little bit better for it. What CMS is easier for e-commerce? That is a good question. I think that's a complicated answer. I think a lot of it depends on what you're looking for. Um, how is this so wrong? Um, because actually, like, so the project I'm working on next is, yeah, it's going to be something I'm designing, developing, and I'm going to do it through Webflow. And they're like a legit business. And I don't know, like, there's all these trade offs. Like, so if you have all the, what's it called? Um, Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. If you have a lot of like backend integrations, I know things like Shopify is always like the de facto like works with everything, and a lot of people love Shopify just for that. Um, from an ops perspective, from a design perspective, like I don't know. I feel like yeah, there's probably like Crafts CMS, I think. Prismic is another one I've heard of. I haven't really done my homework on Prismic. Yeah, I feel like there's so many more capable backends. Craft is complicated. Oh man, nope, I know they have something for e-commerce though. Looking to Shopify later too. Yeah, Shopify is what I understand to be like, if you're a business, that's what you want because it has all of these integrations. Like I have a friend who's got his website, and I've been trying to get him off of it and um, onto Webflow, but he's like, oh, does it have like automatic shipping generate, like it just automatically generate labels for me, or all these other like process things that I don't think Webflow has. There's like, it's called Foxy, I think. God, this keyboard. So you can get deeper with some of these plugin integrations that I haven't done my homework on it. I want to look into it. But this is supposedly all within, like you manage your products and everything within Webflow, which I think is nice instead of having like an external tool that you then have to like just embed via just code embeds. And it's like if I want to do Shopify integrations on Webflow, it's like weird things like you just have to like create all the products on Shopify and then generate the buy buttons and then embed the buy buttons, and I don't know, it's really weird and I can't imagine it's efficient. But I've seen this a lot in the threads come up when people talk about e-commerce. Yeah, they also have like more features as well. They have like subscriptions, product categories. This is kind of what I've been fighting with Webflow, and I hacked it. Digital downloads, that's something Webflow just added, so that's kind of not as important. Yeah, unified order entry. It's kind of good. I'm like, I might end up having to use this. I'm still looking at options. Custom subdomains, checkout plus. Hosting and security. See, I just wonder from like a business side, like if there's any sort of integrations you can do. There you go, integrations. Well, shipping and fulfillment. I mean, it has a decent amount. Actually, no, like stamps.com is one that my buddy used, at least for a little bit. He may be off that, but automatically send Foxy orders to your stamps.com account. Huh. I mean, it seems like it could become a tangled web of shit, but that's kind of my understanding of ecom to this day is like, it's kind of messy in the back end. There's a lot of like different things talking to each other and saying different things, and yeah, I don't. Cat details. Like this height. The height of this is changed. Hero image. I don't think this is the proper way to fix it. Oh, it's like you fix one problem and then another shows up. Yeah, this like sticky content stuff is just creating problems. And I actually have to design it so it might change then too. So tempted to just turn it off. And this, it just looks like shit when it's stretched like that. This looks like shit too. Yeah, and the other problem I have, Yeah, this doesn't stick. It's fixed position. It by all means should stick. Oh, cat bread. Category breadcrumb. Yeah. Fixed position. It's too low and it's not fixed. I have no idea what that's about. If I go and inspect it, it says it's fixed position, but it still scrolls. So I have no idea what's going on. My guess is it's something. So I just got rid of muted. Yeah, someone had something like this happen, and apparently if you use interactions, at like a global level, sometimes it affects fixed position. I'm just seeing so many things. This is not ready. I think I have to have a second thought about like some of this stuff. I know I fixed some of that just now. That wasn't the republished one, but yeah. I had hopes I'd get it out tonight, but I don't think I'm going to. I still haven't eaten dinner. I kind of didn't really plan this out all that well. So, yeah, it's just in like a weird mindset as well. And like I've noticed with this stuff, if I'm not in the right mindset, like I'm just spinning my wheels and wasting my time, and I'm better off like not working or doing something else. So I might call the stream right there. But I do want to get back and doing this more often. I might do like morning streams before work because I am full time right now. So yeah, that's keeping me busy. So I'm trying to work around that schedule. I have the other side project. I don't want to ask them about like streaming that, but I don't think they really want that out there just yet. So yeah, I'll be back later this week, hopefully with a little more closure on this site. But yeah, thank you to everyone who came through. I will hopefully see you again this week.